Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go-to film enthusiast. Every week I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, Randy Younger here, Under the Radar, here at the Tribeca Festival 2025, here for two red carpet premieres. The first one is the new documentary, Andy Kaufman Is Me, followed by the new drama called Dragonfly, starring Andrea Riseborough. I'm about to speak with some of the talent. Here we go.
How are you?
Taller than I envisioned.
I know. I'm a tall man.
You are 6'3"?
Four.
Four, excuse me.
Told you.
How you doing on the festival so far?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great. Yeah.
What would Bobby De Niro say right now?
I would say it's you. That's what he would say. I don't know.
No, I'm doing Andy Kaufman for
that
the
works.
Spirit of Tonight. So very happy to be here tonight talking about Andy.
Yeah, that's what he sounded like.
Is Andy an inspiration for you?
Of course. I'm a 26-year-old comedian. So I love the old guys though, and Andy, genius. Especially he would do these great impressions, and yes.
Yeah. So as an impressionist, who is your biggest influence in that world?
In the impressions world or the comedy world?
Impressions specifically.
In the impressions, originally about like Seth MacFarlane, and then Phil Hartman, Dana Carvey, like the vintage SNL guys. Jay Farrow's amazing. Kevin Spacey, Pre-Cancellation was fantastic. So a lot of guys, yeah.
Who haven't you done yet?
I'm working on. That's such a good question. Working on like Benson Boone. That's one I'm working on.
Who
right
the heck
now.
is that?
You have a lot to Google, my friend.
I do.
One of the most famous singers alive.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So what's
Thank
next
you.
for you, man?
Just stand-up. I'm on the road. I'm doing an hour of stand-up.
Okay.
So I'm touring that, and then that's what I'm focusing on.
Well, enjoy the rest of the
Thank
festival.
you.
All
Good
right,
to
man.
see you.
You too,
Thanks.
man. Congratulations on the film. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
What was it like? What was the beginning of this project?
Beginning of the project for me is Clay and I have a production company together. So yeah, when Ross Dinnerstein brought it to us, we were just like thrilled, especially when we found out that the family was involved.
Right.
That meant a lot to us.
What was it like dealing with the family, getting stories and anecdotes from them?
Oh my goodness. It's like it opened up like a whole new world, and we felt like we learned all new things about him. I'm very close to my family, so to like actually get to learn about somebody through their family was really exciting.
What was the most interesting aspect of Andy's life?
You know what? I think we went into the project assuming that he was always in character, because that's sort of the lure of Andy Kaufman, and to be speaking to the people who actually really know him, to find out that he was just like all of us, kind of blew my mind, honestly.
He was a very shy guy in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Do you think he'd be proud of you guys today if he were around?
I sure hope so. You can never know, but we did actually ask everybody that we interviewed what he would think about there being multiple documentaries made about him, and the resounding results were he'd be thrilled.
That's so great.
Let's hope it's true.
Yeah, I hope. And if he were on this red carpet right now, he'd probably be masquerading as somebody else.
I would think so. I mean, who knows? Maybe the ghost of Andy's here.
You never. Yeah, I'm assuming he is.
Let's hope.
What were some challenges in the production?
There's always some challenges. I would say that there's so much music in the film.
Okay.
And so just making sure that we could be authentic and get all of the music into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm automatically thinking from a producer's brain, and just making sure we could get all the music in there, because Andy was such a musical guy.
Favorite?
So that was a challenge.
Favorite song in the movie?
I mean, anytime he's doing Elvis, it's like top notch, and Elvis isn't easy to get for a film.
True.
So that was great.
Oh, well, congratulations on the film. It's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate it.
So what was it like seeing this film after all these years?
Seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet? No. Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting to see it now. I think it's we're starting at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I've never actually seen myself on the big screen before, even though I am an actor by trade, but I'm not a film actor. I'm a theater actor. So this will be a little freaky, but it's a chance to. It's a chance to check in with the people that I loved dearly when I was a lot younger.
Okay. Well, you don't seem that old, sir.
I'm 76 years old.
Real? Okay.
Yeah,
You look good. You look good.
Yeah, I feel good.
Any projects you're working on now you can talk about, or?
I just finished doing some short subjects up in where I live in the Berkshire Mountains. And, nothing ahead. Okay. So I'm available.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Dream role for you?
Well, I've done it already, but King Lear.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, great. It's really fun. I wouldn't mind doing it again.
I'd love to see that.
Beautiful play. One of the great plays of all time.
How's the festival treating you so far?
This is really overwhelming. I'm very excited. Very excited to be here.
That's great.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you. Congratulations. Hello.
Under the radar.
That's right, Randy Younger. How you doing?
Oh man, that's fucking great.
You like that?
I mean, that's literally, that's entrance fee alone.
And I've used it for about 10 years now. So.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So congratulations on the film. It's wonderful.
Thanks.
Saw it last night. Very emotional film. How did this story come about, and why did you want to bring this story to the screen?
Okay. Basically, I know these characters. These characters are people I've sort of grown up with, and I like writing about characters. And I wrote this film during COVID because I thought we'd never be able to make bigger films again. And so the idea of making something that was very local, living next door to each other, and that's how it came about, and just trying to tell something that was fairly truthful within the characters.
Now you've got Brenda, you've got Andrea. What was it like working with these powerhouse talent?
Yeah, I mean, they were very lucky to be working with me.
Good.
No, do you know what? It was what a joy. And when you start working with an actor you've never worked with before, it's always interesting to work out how, they are going to work and that dynamic. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I think they're both so very brilliantly unique in what they do. It was a very, joyful atmosphere, considering we were up against it time-wise and financially, and I couldn't ask for two better leads.
And it's a wonderful location too. It's suburbia, basically, middle of nowhere. This story could be told pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Where did you shoot, and why did you pick that place?
We shot in Nottingley in Leeds mainly because we got some public money actually from Screen Yorkshire, who were very, very, very supportive of the project. And like you said, there are that kind of housing everywhere in different ways, and it's more to do with the financial aspect of where one lives.
Right.
And but also that I literally pictured that kind of house when I wrote it, and we were very lucky to find it.
That's great. That's great. And the area, the location is almost like a character itself.
Yeah, very much so.
Now I'm curious, what were some of the challenges you faced on set?
Do you know what? The challenges were more before filming.
Okay.
Just getting a film together which is independent, and when you're trying to raise money, that's always really hard. Once you get to the film making process, then you're sort of left with realities to deal with. Mm-hmm. So it stops being what if, how. It's literally like, okay, well, this is what we're doing today. Okay, how can we make it work best of all, and then doing it. So I'm like, once you start filming, the challenges are easier to deal with because they're real.
Right, of course. Good answer. What about collaboration? How important is collaboration to you on a set?
I don't collaborate with anyone. I literally stand there with a big stick and just say, do this. I think, to be honest, you have to, one of the best things about doing this job is working with people who know what they're doing. And, everyone pitches in ideas, and everyone is free to say something, because I will very happily say I don't know if there is something I don't know, or if I don't know what to do at a particular moment. So for me, collaboration is the only thing that gets your project made.
Of course, of course. So what's next for Dragonfly? Beautiful film. What's on the horizon?
I'll tell you after tonight, man,
Okay, good.
when people watch it. Obviously, you wait for the reviews and see what people say, but hopefully, I'm very proud of this film. I think
Well, you've got a glowing review for me, sir.
Tink you very much, dude. You're a legend.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
kind.
Hey guys, Randy Young here, Under the Radar, here at the Tribeca Festival for the 50th anniversary screening of the David Cronenberg film Shivers. I'm about to speak to Mr. Cronenberg himself. Here we go. David, congratulations, 50 years, Shivers.
Yes.
Now, you made this film half a century ago.
A century ago, and yet I'm only 30 years old. How is that
You look
possible?
great, you look
I don't
great.
know. Yeah. thank you.
Looking back, would you change anything now if you can go back and change anything in Shivers?
I actually don't look back.
All
I mean, I know that George Lucas likes to go back to his old films and update them with the latest technology because there's so much special effects and stuff. I don't do that. I think my films need to be of their time, of the time that I made them. So I have no impulse to change them at all.
Okay.
Even though there are obviously, you'll see flaws or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think about that. I don't really. That doesn't motivate me.
That's a great answer. You don't look back. You look always to the future.
Well, as I say, they're artifacts of their time and where I was at that time. So.
Right.
And Shivers was my first commercial movie, and you can kind of see me learning how to make a movie when you watch it. It was not. It's 2 weeks, very low budget, and yet it's still around.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a very graphic. There's nudity, there's violence. It's very, very, a physical movie.
Yes.
And that's obviously your thing with the body horror genre.
Sure.
Mixing the physical and the mental.
Yeah.
How did you kind of architect that genre?
I don't really think I've architected anything. I really was just making a movie that had to do with the way I was thinking about various things at the time.
Okay.
And when you think of it, I mean, body horror is not a phrase that I ever invented. That was some journalist in the 80s who came up with that.
Right.
But when you think of it, I mean, what is the subject of all movies? What is the thing you photograph most? It's the human body.
Right.
So anybody who's a director has got to be obsessed with the human body. That's your subject. Mm-hmm. The human condition as a body, basically.
Are you surprised that Shivers was selected for tonight's film? Because you've done so many great films in this genre.
Well, this is the only one that's 50 years old.
That's true. That's true.
In 2 years there'll be another one that's 50 years old.
Well, it's funny because this year marks the 20th anniversary of the first film, the film that got me into your filmography, A History of Violence.
Right.
Definitely not a horror film, but a horrific film.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that film? I'm curious.
Sorry.
What was it like working on that one?
Well, it was interesting because I just made a film called Spider with Ralph Fiennes in England, in London. And that was a very low budget movie that we all agreed to make for no money. So I needed to make a movie that was connected with the studio, and History of Violence came along, and I thought, this is a different genre. It's basically kind of a mob, mobster movie. But it had a real deep, profound structure of family, small town,
Very complex.
and very complex relationships, and so I was very happy to do it. That's basically how it came along.
Well, I hope that the next film that is in 50 years from now is a good one, and I want to thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. So welcome, the 50th anniversary of Shivers.
Yeah.
What is your involvement with David Cronenberg? What brings you here tonight?
I'm here as a fan. I was saying earlier, I was exposed to David Cronenberg's films at much too young an age. It's completely.
I think all of us have.
Yeah, it's completely inappropriate. I probably saw my first Cronenberg film when I was 12, and the right age, I feel like to start is about 43.
Right.
Then you're finally mentally prepared for the shocks you're about
Which
to
one at
expose.
12 was it?
Oh God, probably The Dead Zone.
Okay.
Actually, which is fairly, I would say one of the Cronenberg at his most peaceful and reflective, and least sort of, the body horror, the sort of, grotesqueries of the human body erupting.
I went head first with The Fly. I was like maybe 10.
Intense. I mean, I remember The Fly was the last horror film that I saw in my life that was so disturbing I needed to walk out of the theater and take a break for a second. But I was 14 at the time. I mean, I thought, and it's just, at some point, Goldblum's got his penis in a jar, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to need a second now to catch a breath.
It's a little much.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, films like The Fly and Videodrome and Scanners and Rabid, these are pictures that loom very large in my imagination, and I absorb some stuff from them about how messy it is to be in the world with a human body, and about how risky it is, the dangers of pathogens, of, your liquids doing something. We're all these walking sacks of liquids.
And the relationship of physical and mental really is really,
I'm fascinated that Videodrome came out in the 80s and presented us with this horrifying, grotesque world in which people feel an intense desire to be one with their screens, and of course, now that's the world we live in.
Right.
We're all the new flesh now.
You think he has a sequel in him for the new modern age?
I mean, he could, except it would be like documentary.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fiction there. I agree.
Right, absolutely. But I think that like a lot of true visionaries, Cronenberg has always been a little bit ahead of us. You know, always he's sort of, you know, not just explored our fears, but anticipated them. And that's one of the reasons why the pictures have had such, you know, such lasting power.
Now,
and are so capable of disturbing and pissing people off and upsetting them. And I find that fascinating. You know, an artist who occasionally really pisses people off might be doing something right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But Shivers, 50 years. This is basically one of his very first body horror films.
Yes.
This kind of broke the mold. This like kind of was the genesis of his entire career, basically, in this genre, anyway.
Absolutely, it got him thrown out of his apartment, and he was excoriated in the press, and it kicked off the beginning of something, a 50-year exploration of what it means to be human and all the ways that can go wrong.
Right.
And madness, you know, the way the human mind can become corrupted.
Right.
And it's just been fascinating to sort of go on that ride with him, to explore those, to see those pictures, and to see, you know, have a chance to see what Cronenberg is scared of and what fascinates him. And, you know, we've been very lucky to have those pictures.
And now these movies are so disturbing, so freaky.
Yeah.
Do you think modern audiences, younger audience, the next generation is ready to revisit these films? Are they ready for it?
I don't know. In some ways, modern horror films are more disturbing and more realistic. In other ways, I don't think there's anything like what Cronenberg, or could be anything like the kind of body of work that Cronenberg has put together, because it's so personal, and the nightmares he gets on screen are so uniquely disturbing and upsetting and visceral, you know, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if anyone quite dares be so make us so uncomfortable. Yeah.
Do you think the future of horror is a bright one?
Has it ever been?
I guess not.
Does horror deal in bright futures?
You know what I...
Yeah, you know. I mean, certainly we have a lot of great horror filmmakers. You know, Cronenberg has many children out doing good work, and, you know, so there's always something exciting to see. Certainly as a horror fan, you know, I've been delighted over the last few years that there's been so much great stuff.
That's great. Thank you so much, Joe.
It's a pleasure.
All right, have a good night. Hey guys, Rand Young here, Under the Radar, here at the Tribeca Festival 2025, here on the red carpet of the 25th anniversary of Requiem for a Dream. I'm about to talk to some of the talent. Here we go. You are a fan of Darren's.
Oh my gosh.
But what brings you here tonight specifically?
Well, specifically, we're here tonight because we are giving Darren our iconic Made in New York award, which we give to individuals that have really made a difference for our made a difference for film and television production in the city of New York, and he's been extraordinary. So we are just thrilled and honored to be able to present this award to him tonight at this festival.
And have you known him for a while now?
I've met him on occasion, yes. You know, the thing about being the commissioner is you're stuck in an office. I don't get to be on the set as much as I would like. But yes, I have, and I plan to do everything I can to go to other of his productions.
What is it about his work that really grabs you?
Well, because he tells such completely compelling stories, and he creates characters that are so important and different and compelling, for whether it be Ellen Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream, or whether it be the beautiful young ballerinas in Black Swan, and so many others. So his stories are compelling, but the characters that he creates are remarkable, and that's why people keep coming back and wanting to see more and more of Darren Aronofsky's films.
Storytelling and characters obviously are basically the backbone of any great production, and now we have some great productions coming up. We have some great from the past. How do you feel about the state of production in New York City right now?
I'm feeling better and better.
Yeah.
I think we've come back from the pandemic, which I'm relieved to be able to say. We do have more production starting up, which is wonderful. We've made improvements to our film and television production tax credit, which is going to make it possible for productions to get their incentive back more quickly, which is going to be very, very important. So I'm feeling that this is going to be a very good time in the production community in New York.
And as commissioner, do you have any tips for people kind of just starting out, or people, even veterans, that are looking for work?
I say make your movie. Whatever it is that story that you're carrying within you, or that thrill of holding a camera and being the director of photography, whatever it is, get out there and make your project, or get involved with or attached to a project that you really believe in. Great. Do it. Don't sit back. Do it.
Lastly, favorite movie shot in New York?
Oh, no.
Come on, just one.
Come on. Oh, God. I'm sure I'm going to adore Caught Stealing.
Top 3, maybe?
Oh, my Lord. There are just so many. I can't even begin to name them all. I love New York films. I love seeing New York on a screen. And it just gives me goosebumps. It gives me thrills and chills. It's why I was a little girl and decided I was moving to New York.
You love New York, and New York loves you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. And
Thank
that
you.
was fun.
Thank you. I'm Randy Unger, Under the Radar. Congratulations on this film 25 years ago. Obviously, it still resonates with audiences. What was it like when you first got the script?
When I first got the script, I read it, and I called my agent, and I said, this is the most depressing script I've ever read. Who would want to see this movie?
Right.
No, I don't want to do it. And she said, well, before you turn it down, look at a movie called Pi, which I had not ever seen, Darren's first movie. And I turned on Pi, and I think I watched it for about 4 minutes. And I called her back and I said, okay, I get it. He's an artist. I'll do the film.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And are you proud of your work in the film? It's a really great performance.
I love the film. I love what it says, what it reveals. It was very hard to make. It was very, very taxing. But I think we did make good work.
Yeah, you did excellent work. And obviously you've worked for a while, many great performances. What are some of the standout performances? What are some of the highlights of your career, you'd say?
Well, Alice doesn't live here anymore. I won an Oscar for The Exorcist, which is in the Library of Congress. I think it's the only one of my films there.
I think a few of your movies might be in there.
Yeah, you think so?
Maybe. They should be if they're not.
Thank you. And this one, I don't know what else. Well, of course, The Last Picture Show is a favorite. I guess those are my favorite.
And you have the Triple Crown of Acting, which is extremely impressive. All the awards for the great performances, the great institutions. What advice do you have for young actors just starting out?
Be in a class. Be working all the time in class. Don't just try and act when you get a job, because you probably won't get one then. You have to be in shape. Yep. You have to be doing scenes all the time. Okay. So when you're called on, it's just more acting. It's not like the scariest thing in the world.
Right. Anything coming up? Any other projects you're working on?
I just finished a film I shot in Australia for 3 months called Place to Be.
So obviously we are in New York City. Are there any particular films that are shot in New York that stand out for you? Some of your favorite New York movies?
Oh God, I can't
Just
answer
one.
that question. One. Well, this one.
This one. Good answer.
Yeah. Yeah. We shot mostly in Brooklyn.
Right.
But and we shot on a New York subway at 3 in the morning, which is the only time we could be there with
really?
the camera. As a matter of fact, I think Darren snuck the camera on under his coat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great performance, a great film, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and it's a special edition of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And with me today, I have a very, very special guest. He's a legend in the film world, in the comedy world, Mr. Ed Begley Jr. Ed, welcome to the show.
Randy, thank you so much for having me on, buddy.
This is great. I've admired your work for decades, literally. Uh, but before we get into your my nostalgia of you, we're going to basically discuss your latest film, which is also a comedy. It's a dark comedy, and it's a strange one. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't.
Very strange.
Yeah, it is called "Don't Tell Larry," and you have a part in the film. And basically, this film tells the story of a young woman who she makes a mistake. She I don't want to give it away. There's a lot to unwrap here, but basically, it's a dark comedy involving a select group of people that are affected by a tragedy and how they're basically trying to get out of this huge mess. I know that's a little vague,
It
but
started by one lie. It's a workplace thriller, but it starts with one lie and it
right.
snowballs from there.
Exactly. I think you said it better than I, sir. Um, but I enjoyed the film. It is very quirky, very dark, lots of fun, great performances, obviously, and you have a great part in it as the boss at this company. And I'm just curious, what attracted you to the role?
I got a script from my agent, the way things normally happen, and most of them are mediocre to poor, but this was very funny and very dark, and I like both. So the idea of a workplace thriller with all those laughs packed in, and Greg and John, these two guys, Greg Porper and John Shimke, are so funny. I met them in person and really liked them a lot and liked the script. And I heard about the two people who were the leads. They're just fantastic. Patty Guggenheim and Kyle Kennedy, just wonderful, wonderful actors. Let me give you the names of the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Also, Kenneth Mosley is in it playing Patrick. Tina Parker, I know from Better Call Saul. She's in Breaking Bad too. She's wonderful. And of course, Dot Marie Jones. Wonderful. Dot Marie Jones is in it, fantastic. So great cast I heard about. And then we showed up on the set. We had a ball.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the directors here. It is actually a dual effort from Greg Porper and John Shimke.
Yeah.
What was it like working with these fine gentlemen?
They were great. You go, oh boy, what am I in for when there's two directors? Who do you listen to? Who has final say? But they work very well together. They collaborate well with each other and with every actor in the set and every grip, every electrician, every sound guy. They're just wonderful, wonderful guys. And, I met them through a Zoom call or something before I started working on it. And I thought, these guys are great because they're both funny and very kind to an old geezer. So I'll forever be in their debt. It's a funny, funny movie, dark and weird and wonderful, just like me. And Greg Porper and John Shimke. I love these guys. We've become great friends.
Yeah, they really have a really like a good control over the actors and the mood of the tone of the film. Like I mentioned, it's a very I love movies like this. I love dark comedies, and this film is a prime example of that. I don't think I've seen a movie quite as funny actually in maybe months. So again, it's a testament to you, to the rest of the cast, and the filmmakers. So congrats again.
Thank you so much, Randy.
So it is a comedy, and you've done a lot of comedies yourself, obviously. Are there, what makes a great comedy? What makes a good joke land?
I had the good fortune to meet and become very close friends with and work with people like Dabney Coleman, Alan Arkin, Peter Falk, Charles Grodin. And these people all, when they did comedy, they were never doing comedy. Okay, we got some laughs coming here. Right. It was always like they're doing Chekhov, like they're doing Ibsen. They play it straight, and it was, of course, hilariously funny. If you play it straight, the jokes really, for my money, land like a 747. Right. They know how to, all those guys I just mentioned know how to do it. And these guys, Greg and John, know how to do it. You don't have to play it for laughs. You can get big when you need to get big, but you lay that carpet of reality, that Alan Arkin, Peter Falk reality, that Charles Grodin reality. It's like he's doing Rosemary's Baby, which he did. He was played a
That's right.
small role in that movie, very dramatic movie, of course.
Yeah.
He played it straight, he's a wonderful dramatic actor. Dabney Coleman is a perfect example. Great dramatic actor, great comedian, because he never plays it for laughs. True and honest at every moment. And there comes the comedy.
I love that. I love that. Ed Begley Jr., I want to thank you, sir, for your time. Also, before we go, you mentioned a bunch of theaters that Don't Tell Larry is playing at. I know that it'll be in theaters and on demand on June 20th. So
June 20th is correct.
Yes, June 20th. So guys, please, whoever's watching and listening right now, check out Don't Tell Larry. It's a lot of fun. It's dark and weird and quirky and just a good ride. And thanks to Ed here, it is a quality comedy. So Ed, again, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Randy. Great to talk to you.
You too. So, all right, guys, I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. We'll see you next time. Take care.